Hello, welcome back to Buckle Up. My name is Rob Wilson and this is the brand new Kia EV2, and today I'm going to find out if it's any good. Okay, but before we drive it, let's have a quick look around the outside, and we'll start, as always, at the front, where this is a very chunky looking small car. This is the smallest car in Kia's EV numbered range, and this is just a shrunken down version, more of the 5 and 9 as opposed to the 3, 4 or 6 that are currently available. It's much more square and boxy and SUV-like because SUVs are what sell these days. So we've got a lot of black plastic cladding. We've got the split light design with this tower arrangement that is very familiar on Kia EV products. We've got the big proud Kia badge here at the front. This is a GT Line S specification car, so you get this gloss black plastic around the lower part of the bumper as well. Just helps lift the design more generally. Under this bonnet we do have a small 15-litre Frunk, which is only available on the upper 2 trims. There are 3 trims available. There are technically 4. I'll get to that when we get to the side. So speaking of, round here you'll find some rather lovely 19-inch alloy wheels on this top spec car. We've got body coloured mirrors, we've got a sunroof, black roof rails, you've got your pop-out door handles, a bit more this black plastic cladding along the bottom of the doors, and we then have your charging port here on the front wing. Now, getting back to my previous point, there are actually 4 trim levels. There's the standard Air, GT Line and GT Line S that you are familiar with from Kia EV products, but there is also a first edition which for some reason has a smaller battery than all of these other trim levels, and it actually costs more than the basic Air car, and it does 80 miles less of range. So not really sure what the point of that particular car is, if I'm being honest, so I'm going to ignore it because there aren't many left and stick to talking about the other 3 trims. Anyway, in there we have the ability to charge the car at up to 118 kilowatts. That's a 10 to 80% charge in around half an hour, and you can charge at home up to 11 kilowatts, and if you do have an 11 kilowatt charger at home, you can charge this to 100% in around 5.5 hours, so definitely doable overnight. Now, if I close that up, we can see again just how much black plastic cladding there is around the wheel arches, and that continues at the back, because look at this large amount of black plastic that we've got round here incorporated into the rear bumper. Again, we've got these gloss black elements because it's a GT Line S car. And weirdly, look at the lights. The rear lights are mounted way down in terms of the overall surface area at the back of the car. Normally you'd expect to see them around here, but they've moved them down out of the way because when you open the boot, they don't get in the way of that opening. They don't eat into that space, so it makes it a much bigger opening. And first of all, when you open the boot, you think, oh no, it's really small, but no, you can lift up the floor to reveal quite a lot more space under there. In total, we've got 362 litres of space back here, and if you fold down the rear seats, that goes up to 1,201 litres. That 1 is very important. In terms of features back here, well, we've got tie-down points in the corners, tie-down points over there. We've got some hooks on either side for attaching things to up to 2 kilograms. There's a light in here, but there is no charger or anything like that because that's in the back seats. Let's go there now. Okay, so here in the back, we'll start by talking about the amount of space that I have in here, because for reference, I am 188 centimeters tall, 6'2". This driver's seat is currently set up in my driving position, and as you can see, I can't quite get my knees behind the chair. This is quite a thick chair, but obviously if you had a shorter driver, you'd be absolutely fine. Headroom, actually cavernous, to be honest with you, for this class of car. Absolutely loads of space, and I don't feel like the floor is too raised at all, so I have quite a nice support for my underlegs, and my knees don't feel like they're at a silly angle. There's plenty of room for my feet to go under the front seats as well. So overall, I feel much better in the back of this car than I would in something like a Renault 4. Here in the centre, we do have a middle seat, but it is very narrow and doesn't have any support on it. I think realistically, it would be a struggle to have 3 adults in the back here, so I wouldn't really recommend it at all, only for shorter journeys. You do have an armrest here in the centre with 2 cup holder spaces, but you do also have cup holders in the door pockets, which are big enough to hold a reasonable size bottle of water. We've also got Isofix on both of these outer seats. We've got seat back pocket on the front passenger seat. You've got 2 USB-C chargers in the backs of the front seats. Now, speaking of charging, as I was saying when we were in the boot, well, there is a household style socket down here in the center, 250 volts. So if you really want to charge something up, you can do so very quickly through that. You've also got a pair of air vents there, no climate control here in the back, but you don't really get that on any of this car's rivals at this price. Overall materials, it's a nice blend of different things, so it doesn't feel too dark or oppressive. And where I rest my arm, nice and comfortable, and obviously armrest nice and comfortable as well. So I think you'd be perfectly happy in the back of this car, to be honest. If the driver was a little bit shorter and you're a little bit shorter than me, very happy indeed. So no real complaints. Let's see what it's like up front. Okay, so up front, this will be very familiar to anyone who has been in a Kia EV product. It's just a shrunken down version of what you see in a lot of those other cars. So I will start by talking about what's in front of me on the steering wheel. So left hand side is your cruise functions, your self-driving tech, following the car in front, keeping you in the centre on the lane on the motorway. And then the right-hand side of the steering wheel is more for the media, infotainment stuff, your volume, your answering your phone, and that sort of stuff. Now, you also have a drive mode selector, which is at the bottom of the steering wheel, and you've got 4 drive modes to choose from: Eco, Normal, Sport, and Snow. Not that this car has all-wheel drive, it's front-wheel drive only, but it's there for if you need it. You've also got paddles on the back of the steering wheel. Now, they control the level of regen. You've got level 1, 2, 3, and then if you press and hold it, you get iPedal, which is basically 1 pedal driving. Through the steering wheel, I have my driver's information screen. I can configure that to display many different things if I want to. I should mention, if you aren't familiar with a Kia EV product, then you will maybe not know about the drive selector, which is to the right of the steering wheel but below where your wiper controls are. That's for your on and off button for the car. You do actually have to turn it on and off, which I appreciate. I think that getting into a car and it already being on is a bit weird. And it's simply just twist for drive, reverse, neutral, and press the end in for park. In the center here, we have your infotainment screen. You can connect your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto up to it nice and easily, and that's what most people are going to be doing, and it's very responsive and it works really well. You've also got a smaller screen in between the infotainment and driver's display, which has got more of the climate stuff on there, so shortcut buttons for the windscreen blower, the heated rear screen, aircon, and fan speed controls, although you do have separate controls for the temperature and fan speed and direction below all of that screen. So I think that that is a much better way of doing it. That's just there to show you what is happening with these buttons down here. You do have shortcut buttons for the screen as well: home, map, search, media. There's a star for setting up your own shortcut and a setup button as well. Below that, we have some charging infrastructure. So we've got 1, 2, 3 USB-Cs down here. I've also got a 12-volt socket if I want to charge something a bit quicker. Further down below that, there is a Qi charger for charging your mobile phone. There is a cup holder here in the center. There's also an additional cup holder because you get this little divider that you can put in various different positions depending on the size of your bottle. And then there's this tray that is obscured by this armrest which comes out into the center. If I lift that up, there's a little storage tray in there. There's a bigger storage box to the back. We've also got a few more buttons for the auto hold, shortcut to the all-round view cameras and your parking sensors on this top spec car. The driver's seat in this top spec car is electrically adjustable. We've also got 3-stage heating, 3-stage cooling. We've got 2-stage heated steering wheel, 2 memory settings for the driver's seat as well. This passenger seat isn't electric, but it is still nice and comfortable. You got the 2-tone effect on there. You got these lovely headrests, which are just glorious. We've also got another practicality feature up here. We've got a full-size glove box, which is lovely to see. Door pockets, again, same as the ones in the back, can hold nice big bottle of water. And we've got some Harman Kardon speakers in this top spec car as well, which is a nice little premium touch. In terms of materials, everything where you actually put your hands feels really quite nice. Again, different blend of materials. It's not just a sea of boringness. You do have a little light strip going across the dashboard as well. Again, all of this just helps lift the cabin and makes it feel a little bit more premium, in my opinion, compared to some of its rivals out there. But what I think we should do now is just go out and drive it. Okay then, so driving the EV2, and I will start by talking about the figures. I'm going to ignore the smaller battery version because that's basically not going to be on sale for very much longer. So there is going to be one battery option, which is a 61 kilowatt hour unit. There are going to be the 3 specs that I spoke about: Air, GT Line and GT Line S. All of them will have 133 brake horsepower. All of them will have 250 Newton meters of torque. All of them will go on to a top speed of 100 miles per hour. The top 2 specs will do 0 to 60 in 9.7 seconds, which is actually slower than the bottom spec Air car, which will do it 0.2 of a second quicker, and that's basically just down to weight. The Air weighs 1,630 kilograms versus 1,665 kilograms for the GT Line and GT Line S cars. So, in terms of range, the longest range car is actually the bottom spec car as well, the Air. So that's got 275 miles of WLTP range. The GT Line car goes down slightly to 261, and the GT Line S again slightly down, 257. As I've said, this is the top spec GT Line S. I've currently got 94% battery, and it's saying that I have a range of 239 miles. What I do like about Kia's EV products is that they give you a maximum and a minimum expectation based on your state of charge as well. So minimum expectation is 139 miles. That's if I'm absolutely matting it on a motorway or something like that. And your maximum range is 347 miles currently displayed on there. So that's more if you're just driving around town. What I do know to be true is that in pretty much every Kia EV product that I've driven, apart from maybe the GT products, the range is very, very accurate. In fact, it actually slightly underestimates sometimes, I think, what the car can actually do. Same with the estimated miles per kilowatt hour. It's estimated roughly between 3.8 and 4 miles per kilowatt hour on the WLTP cycle to get those range figures. I haven't been driving particularly frugally in my time with the car, and I've been getting easily 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour, so only just below what the WLTP figures suggest would be for this car, and I haven't been trying at all. In fact, because I'm testing it, I've been driving in a manner which wouldn't be considered normal driving. In terms of the actual driving experience, well, it's exactly as I would have expected. It's not sporty, it's definitely set up for comfort. I much prefer that, to be absolutely honest with you. I don't like cars that are pretending to be something that they're not. It's very comfortable, very quiet. The steering's nice and easy to use. It's not too light, so it doesn't feel like there's any connection, which sometimes you have in these smaller EV products. This one feels just like its bigger brothers, really. It feels quite solid. It feels safe, secure. I've got a nice view out ahead of me. I feel like I'm sat quite high up. I love a couple of standout things in this car, generally in Kia EV products. When I indicate, the right or left hand side of my driver's information screen becomes a camera view of my blind spot. Really love that. I also love that if I press and hold the mute button on the steering wheel, that turns off the speed recognition bongs and beeps, so it's not constantly beeping at you when it misreads a sign, or reads a sign on the back of a lorry or something stupid that these systems do sometimes. I've been driving on a mixture of slow and fast roads and quite unbroken surfaces at the moment, and the ride quality is pretty good actually. It's soaking up the bigger potholes in the road. It's not really transferring that through into the cabin with a large bang or thump. It is a little bit floaty, but I really don't mind that. It doesn't make me feel sick or anything. It's just that's the sort of experience that you get the faster that you go. I think that the brake feel is very nicely judged. I have also been using the iPedal. I think that works really well. It's very easy to judge or guess where the car's going to pull up when you take your foot off the accelerator, and obviously massively improves your efficiency because it's using a lot of that Regen to help keep the battery topped up. I think that Kia have very effectively shrunk their EV car recipe onto what is currently the smallest version on that platform available, and it just ticks all the boxes. Once again, they just know how to do this, and I really do think that their EV lineup is one of the strongest out there at the moment. It's very competitive with a lot of its rivals in terms of price as well. They're currently offering the full UK government grant on the list price of these, so that's £3,750 off. Please go and look at the latest pricing because that seems to change a lot, but it's basically starting at just over £24,000 for the Air version. That's very competitive for a car like this these days, especially one that's as spacious as this. I think I've mentioned that this definitely feels more spacious than something like a Renault 4. Anyway, that's probably enough driving around, so I shall head back now and do a conclusion. Okay then, so that is the EV2 tested. So what am I thinking? Well, as you might have expected from watching this video, I really quite like the EV2. I like pretty much all of Kia's cars at the moment, and this is very much just a shrunken version of the excellent EV numbered cars that Kia make these days. Comparing it to rivals, I think looks wise that is a very personal preference. I know a lot of people really like the Renault 4. I also like the Renault 4, but people think it's too pastiche. This is more modern looking, it's very rugged. I think in terms of range and battery tech and all of that sort of stuff, it's up there with the best in class. Practicality wise, I think it's got lots of room in the back, nice big boot, and everything in the interior is very functional. So overall, another really good car from Kia in its EV range. So if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like, comment down below, let me know your thoughts on the car, but most importantly, while you're down there, please subscribe and ding that notification bell so you never miss one of our uploads. And if you want to support what we do, while you're down there, in the description you've got links to our social media, to our merch. You can become a channel member and you can hype the video now. That is a new thing that YouTube have, and apparently it helps. So please do one or all of those things, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.